Okay, so what are some of the things that you would particularly like to talk about?
Go ahead. Well, you did bring up something that maybe is
More Wednesday report-ish?
more Wednesday reportish.
Okay.
Anger. I've never seen you get angry, so
Ooh, the
describe
last time.
a Micah anger.
Okay, there are things that frustrate me internally. However, I try to follow Jesus's example,
Jesus.
the G's, where he talks about don't get angry. Like, because my conversion to the gospel was more along the lines of I've had bad examples in my life, examples that I've seen the proof that they don't work. I've had lots of those kinds of examples. And so when I started reading from the Bible and from the Book of Mormon and really putting my life on the line and, you know, really growing my faith and then putting it to the test, it was the idea of what does Christ want for me? And that's kind of where I took it at. Like, you know, he does his thing, I do my thing, but what does he want me to do? Because the Bible and all scripture is pretty much commandment. I mean, there's a lot of commandment jammed in there. There's a lot of doctrine, whatever. And so the commandment of thou shalt not kill was something that I knew. I knew that my whole life, thou shalt not kill. And that also is a pretty cool subject, just that in itself. And so going from thou shalt not kill to Jesus saying, don't even get angry. Because if you never get angry, then you will never have a need to break the commandment of thou shalt not kill.
Right.
Although proper translation, thou shalt not slay innocent blood, because there is a, like Deuteronomy says, that there is a time to kill, a time to die, all that.
It's James Bond movie.
Yes, and a bird song.
Yeah.
A time to die, a time to kill.
See, I don't know why anybody. I don't know why people.
AR-15s.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
that's
I don't
not
know
right.
why people don't believe in prophecy. It's clearly been prophesied in the Bible that there would be a time to kill, and roundabouts 1970s or so,
They killed.
and it happened.
Killed it. So, but that's one of the things. So I use that example, the good example from the words of Jesus himself. Don't get angry. And so I keep my anger on the inside until I can deal with it in an outwardly expression. So if you've done something that angers me, I will internalize it because my mind will still be thinking and racing on about it until I can come to terms with it, deal with it, and then I'll be like, hey, remember when you killed my dad? I didn't appreciate that. That kind of stings a little because you killed him with hornets.
I kept it on the inside as long as I could.
Yeah. It's I'm able to deal with it.
So
You killed my dad with hornets.
another way that I think Satan works on you when you have that anger.
On me or anyone?
Anywho, one.
Okay.
Any
Juan.
specifically Juan.
But anyone, it doesn't.
Is with
Anyone
that
you want.
with that timing. So, you know, because sometimes I feel like I get angry, or you know, and I try to keep it on the inside until I feel like I can outwardly express what was what provoked me in a, you know, a good way. And yet sometimes I think I'm prepared, like, okay, I've calmed down, but as soon as I start speaking, it's not been managed properly, and so it's I didn't give myself the proper amount of time to let it cool down and actually
because there's the idea of bottling it up, and that's a dangerous thing because most people bottle it up, put a cork on it, and just set it aside and say, I'll deal with that when I'm calm, and they never get to a point where they're going to be calm enough to uncork it, because it then puts them at the emotional state of exactly when they corked it. You uncork it, and then it's like the same situation. So I simply put it on the inside. You know, it's not bottled up, it's not corked, it's something where I'm not going to act on my feelings or my rationale or any of those things until I've had time to think and meditate and ponder on it. And by taking that time, and it may even actually be a few seconds, like great example, if a car cuts me off, like, oh, I hate you forever, and then okay, I'm actually over it in about that much time, because like, I don't really hate you forever, I don't even hate you, hopefully you have a good reason for doing what you're doing, I don't know what it is, I don't need to know, and I'm not dead for it, I'm not even hurt, I'm slightly inconvenienced.
So there are two deceptions, I think. The one you're talking about of bottling it up,
Yeah,
and then
and that's dangerous.
that's dangerous. And then there's the other false, the misconception that it's healthy to get it out.
Yeah, and that's where I've learned that if you act in anger, you're always going to be wrong. You're going to make all sorts of mistakes, so you have to make sure that your actions are not with the anger. It can be because of the anger, such as U.S. Americans, you killed my dad with hornets. I really don't appreciate that, and so I'll now get to tell you I don't appreciate that, and I would like to sting you 1,000 times with hornets myself.
Well, so what I've realized though is when you follow the misconception that getting it out is healthy, instead of that being true, that actually just builds a habit of taking out your anger on people.
Correct.
And so you've
acting in anger.
And acting in anger. So you've built a habit now of acting in anger instead of it being healthy or something.
Yeah.
Like I used to think that arguing was a healthy part of a relationship. And then I came to learn that you can actually have a relationship and never argue.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating thing because the lies that go around, I think, that are pervasive, one of the lies is that, again, like I said, it's healthy to argue and have
that same kind of misconception of acting on your feelings rather than once your feelings have been completely dealt with, going through all of the stages, the 5 stages of trauma, of going through the anger and the denial and all of that till you can get to acceptance, so you can accept your feelings, then act on them. Because you won't have that anger, you'll have that closure. And so for me, like, a car cuts me off, I can get to closure and acceptance and understanding and be like, I'm at peace. I'm okay right now with this car cutting me off, and then I can act out by honking the horn so they can at least know, hey, you made a bad maneuver. But it's not the, I'm angry now, so I'm going to honk so that it's the honk of death. I'm punching you with my horn.
Because there are varying levels of honkage.
Yes.
Okay, so the general kind one is just to remind them, so they don't get hurt. You're just like, boop, boop. You know what I mean?
Boop, boop.
And then
boop,
there's,
hey, there was somebody here. Make sure that you're not causing further accidents in the future and such.
And then there's the go at it with your elbow kind of, you know what I mean? That one's probably the one I do more.
Like, I'm going to punch my steering wheel, but I wish it was your face. Honk, honk. Yes.
That's a good marketing, like, put the face of someone you hate on the horn.
There's an app for that. Put your iPad, punch it.
Just get an iPad, a picture of your face,
and then it will
punch.
download to their Apple product of whatever and be like, oh, I was punched in the
You've
face.
just
by the
been
guy.
punched.
Oh, and I'm looking at my thing while he's punching me, which is also equally as dangerous.
See that big blue?
Yeah, that was the.
There. Oh, there's another big blue.
I can sound that all we want.
3. Well, actually 2, because it's scrolling. Okay, so yeah, there's varying levels of honkage. Okay.
Okay.
Wait. I have a thing.
There is no variance in honking in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
They honk for absolutely everything. Same honk. Hey, you did something good. Meep. You did something bad. Meep. I'm going to kill you and your family. Meep. I acknowledge that you're going to kill my family. Meep. And they honk for everything.
Wait, there are acknowledgement honks?
Yes.
I haven't done an acknowledgement.
So if somebody wants to get into traffic, they will honk. I honk because you honk. You go in, honk to thank, honk to acknowledge that you've got the thank for me letting you into traffic.
Uh-huh.
And if you're standing anywhere near that, your head explodes in anger.
Well, that's an interesting level of communication.
No, it's not. No, it is just nothing but awkward bad. They get it. They like it. They appreciate it. It's their thing. Works nowhere else.
So here's a sad thing.
Yes.
Okay, speaking of honking and anger management issues
Okay.
that I possess.
This week on the Wednesday Report, Confessions of a Madman.
Okay, so we obviously go to the same church.
Yes.
Okay, so when we were leaving church,
You honk at people.
I
while
got it.
leaving
I got
church?
into my car. And this old man, as I was getting into my car, I noticed an old man getting into his car, and it was a truck, and he got into his car, and he backed out first, and I saw him in my rearview mirror, and then I backed out, and he went one way, I went another. Those roads met, however, later on down the road, and he was driving, and I was kind of catty-corner behind him, and he started kind of swerving into my lane, or just kind of falling into my lane a little bit, and I was like, "What the heck are you doing?" And I honked. Not a polite honk.
Anger honk.
Anger honk. And then my
You
wife
anger honked him.
kindly told me, "That guy's from church." And it struck. It was like
To
lightning.
the soul.
Lightning bolt. Because I'm going to have to meet this man again probably soon. And be like, "Hey,
Unless he died, in which case, how are you going to feel then? His tombstone's going to say, some guy honked at me and I could bear no more.
honked to death."
He was a good husband and father until that honking.
So, lesson learned.
Rest and... That's what it's going to stand for.
Yeah. So, I find that I get more angry in a city environment than I do in a small town environment. It's because it's so fast paced. I just get caught up in the fast pacedness, and
I
don't
feel reverse on that.
really
Yeah.
slow pace makes you angry.
Yes. Especially
man.
if someone is going slow when I don't want them to.
Well, that is definitely something you have to deal with. But at least while you're going slow and that person's in front of you blocking your way, you can look out and see beautifulness instead of asphalt.
Perhaps
360 asphalt.
there are times when, like driving on the highway, this happened about a month ago, I'd say, and there was a nice Ferrari in the middle lane cruising at about 15 miles under the speed limit. That to me was unbearable, particularly because, I mean, I saw the car way off and wanted to catch up to it, and then I passed it, and I was like, what? Traffic happened, he then passed me, and then I got stuck behind him. Getting stuck behind a Ferrari going 15 under the speed limit infuriated me for all the reasons that it should infuriate someone. It's a Ferrari, old man driving. He's probably got not much time left. He's probably got to get to where he's going before he can't get there no more. And he's in a Ferrari going slow, and I'm behind him. All of those things made me angry on the inside. And I dealt with it. I managed with it. I once I got into another lane, anger was gone. No problem. But that moment that I was behind him,
Okay,
yes,
so now
anger.
on the way home the other day, actually we were
I was in this Ferrari and the slow guy was behind me. Trying to go the speed limit. Wasn't happening.
I was really old that day. I was in the car and I was driving with my wife and child behind he was in the car. And we're driving and slow down to almost a complete halt. There's bumper to bumper traffic, and it's one of those that you see, red taillights
All the way to
all the way to the horizon, and you get to the horizon and you see red taillights all the way to the next horizon. Get over that one, all the way to the next. We were in
Dang.
this traffic jam for at least 45 minutes, probably.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
The ones that I hate is when you crest a hill, you see the taillights, and then you crest that next hill, and there's nothing, and traffic's going normal again.
That's what I was getting to, though. It was 45 minutes, and okay, so couple, the anger of just that situation
Yes.
with a child baby who is learning to, his vocal cords can get really shrill and piercing.
He sounds like a car horn.
And then so couple all those things together, and then I'm sitting here thinking like, don't get angry, don't get angry, don't get angry, don't get angry. And I was talking to my wife, and I was saying, this better be the biggest wreck we've ever seen, because I'm not in this for nothing. So
Yeah, I mean, you've invested 45 minutes of your
it's like I'm going to
time.
Fiesta, Texas, waiting in a line or something like that. This better be the best dang ride. Exactly. Better see some body parts.
A mannequin truck hit a catch-up truck, made it all worth it.
Yeah, mannequin arms. So anyway, we get over the last horizon, and then we see a bunch of flashing lights, and I'm like, good, finally I get to see the bloody horror that is this wreck.
Yes.
I'm being completely facetious, but
Yeah,
but there were a bunch of lights, and I was like, okay, at least it was something big. And then we get to the point of, that threshold of like completely stopped cars, 100 miles per hour.
yes, because there's a cop
Rubbernecking.
right there.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I have to slow down for the cop. I
Uh-huh.
have to slow down and make sure all of my windows and lights and plugs and everything is right where they need to be, so I don't get arrested by this cop who's obviously busy. Oh, wait a second. Now that I've passed the cop by at least 3 or 4 feet, I realize that he's not going to pull me over. I must go 200 miles an hour instantly.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing.
Yeah.
I must do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And by sheer principle, I do not rubberneck if I'm the
Oh, yeah.
driver.
No, yes.
I do not. If I'm the driver, I refuse. I put on blinders and look straight ahead.
Yep.
But if I'm the passenger, I'm looking as much as I can. I'm like, give me every last second of this. I gotta see it.
I don't know if it's just a thing that my sister and I have developed, maybe a family thing. I don't know where it originated. However, it's always been that the driver eagle locks onto the road. That bumper is zeroed in,
Yeah.
and they say, rubberneck for me. And then we look and give a play-by-play.
Yes.
Oh, it's a flat tire.
Okay, but that's the thing.
And then they're like, okay, well, I'm laser focused on the road anyway. I know it's a flat tire. We can move on with life.
Exactly. 45
Safely.
minutes of living in this line of friggin' cars. We get to that threshold, and there's nothing in the street. There's nothing in the street.
Side of the
Literally,
streets?
it was in the middle. It was in the median.
Oh.
It was a cement truck that rolled over and
Oh.
bloop, bloop, bloop,
Plump.
bloop. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. 45 minutes, nothing in the way.
Yeah.
But I did not rubberneck.
expecting body parts in the cement?
Yeah, hopefully.
The
Yeah, like
cement truck cemented over a different car? None of that?
none of that. Not the, again, principle based. I did not look. My wife did look. She looked every last second and gave me the play-by-play. It was just
Nice.
mostly cleaned up by the time we got there. So,
Hey, something happened 45 minutes ago.
and the person in front of me was they were rubbernecking so much.
I do the same thing. I don't look, and I'm zero focused in on the car in front of
And
me.
they're going
and when they're
like
like
15.
"Gah, what's going on?
And I
I
go,
gotta look. And then they're listing in their lane, like, there's a cop there. Stop helping people. Give this guy a ticket.
Get
Bust
off that
him.
guy giving him CPR. Give this one a ticket.
One last breath, and then ticket. Back to the breath.
Yeah, you can get back for the next breath, okay?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Gone.
Ticket. And back.
Well, at least while you're giving the breath, you could write the ticket out.
Yeah. Lay the pad as you're giving the breath. Hold the nose, tilt back the head
I'm following.
while you're writing, while the ticket's on their chest. Because you can see their chest rise.
Yeah. And that actually
the
helps the
ticket.
wrist so you don't get carpal tunnel.
There you go. Multi-solutions here. And then run, slap to the windshield, run back.
Run back.
1, 2, 3, breath again.
And then the guy wakes up,
Yeah.
gives birth.
And you give his baby a ticket.
This is true. You're not supposed to have babies in the middle of the street.
Men giving birth
to babies.
on the street. It has to be. It can't be in the median, and it can't be on wet
And you
cement.
better have parking cones. I mean, you
Yes.
got to have cones.
That's a baby on board.
Baby about to be on board. I'm having
Well,
the board.
two of the cones say on. Well, one says on baby on board. 3 cones, and as you're giving birth, you place 1, 2. Wow, the baby's born.
Yeah.
Board.
Well, you don't have to tell me
When-
that.
when
I know
it's-
the law.
Yeah,
You got to read. That's the thing.
it's in the DMV manual when you go do your parallel
Which
parking.
who doesn't keep that in their pocket?
Most people don't. They should. That's why they get
That's
ticketed,
why they get
because they
ticketed.
give birth and they only have 2 of the 3 cones,
It's like, where's your third cone?
and it's baby on, and they're like, ticket. Sorry, gotta get you for this one. Yeah, you and the baby,
Sir.
and the baby wasn't strapped in.
Sir.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then you
We're
move
gonna
on.
have to, you're gonna have to waddle down to the precinct now. I'm not giving you a ride in my car because you're messy. Your downstairs is a wreck. No way is that getting hosed out of my squad car. No.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, you have 4 legs now. You can get there faster.
yeah,
It's a thing.
I agree.
Yeah, so that's why I don't get angry.
Good. So we've covered anger.
Anger.
How long are we going to go on this? We're at 20 something.
We'll stop at a half hour-ish mark.
I think that is 28 minutes.
Yeah, 28 minutes.
Oh,
21
okay.
seconds, yeah.
Okay. So we have 2 minutes to get in the next topic, which is
Witches. Witches is a good topic. We haven't burned enough in Salem. I don't know where else they were burned, but we haven't burned enough. I'm thinking witches aren't flammable. That's probably the. I mean, they dunked some.
Well, you have to catch. You have to light people on fire to tell if they are witches, and then if they burn to death, they're not witches, but they're
Because
burned to death.
yeah, witches aren't flammable. So
Right.
if you burn them, and they don't burn, you're like,
Right.
haha, we got you now.
Got you, witch.
And we're gonna drown you.
Now we're gonna drown you,
Yeah.
put you out in the process.
Do witches drown? See, I haven't ever gotten that far
They
because
don't,
it's just
actually.
burning, and you're like,
They-
oh well, they
but
burned,
they
so we
tie-
don't have to worry if they were a witch or not because they burned.
They tie a millstone to their ankle, throw them to the bottom of the lake, river, ocean, what have you, and that's where they reside.
Is it inappropriate to go back into the lake to retrieve your millstone
Well,
once the witch is dead?
but the witch you just said doesn't drown, so
No, I don't know if they drown.
I don't think they do. So you probably shouldn't go get that millstone.
But hey, free millstone.
Free witch.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there's probably a good witching market out there.
They're all at the bottom of the
Unless
sea.
you can grind witches' bones to make breads with that millstone that they have hanging around their neck for free.
Ankle.
Ankle. Their witch's ankle.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. So we've learned an important lesson today. Witches have ankles.
Witch ankles.
Ankles. Ankles. Ankles.
So tune in next week for whatever. We'll see ya.
Thank you. And have a great day. Witches. Oh yeah, witches.